I am live for the first time on YouTube. I'm super excited. And I want to talk about anger today. And I have some notes. So the first thing I want to talk about is, why is anger so hard to control and manage? And let's face it, if you grew up in a family where healthy anger was displayed, you're probably the minority. Most of us grew up seeing people yell, name call, ignore each other, give the silent treatment, things like that. So it's really, really common to have anger issues because we're not taught as kids that our anger is okay, or that we are right for feeling it. We don't want to do any of that. So what we want to do is we want to look at, how can anger be healthy? Because it can be. And it's all about the focus. Your focus of anger is, when it's unhealthy, is on the other person and what they're doing to you. Versus if it's healthy, the anger focuses on you and how you feel. And that's what I can help you with. So the other part is, how do you know if you have anger issues? I'm going to talk about 7 ways. But before we get there, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you a stuffer or an exploder? Because usually people fall into one of those camps. So if you're an exploder, there's 4 signs that are probably happening. So one of them is that someone in your life has expressed concern about your anger. This could be a partner, a child, a boss, a friend. Somebody has said to you, you know what? I think your anger might be a problem, or how you're managing your emotions is coming out sideways. And often what happens is we dismiss that feedback, especially the first time we hear it, because we think, that's not really us anyway. But the truth is that if anyone in your life is expressing concern over how you handle your emotions, it's a warning sign, and it may indicate that you tend to explode and have big emotions. And again, you're not wrong or bad for having them. We all have big emotions sometimes. It's whether or not we have the tools to deal with it that actually makes a difference. And that's why I'm going to do a free workshop at 5 o'clock today. The link is in the comments. Now, the second sign that you might be an exploder is that you find yourself getting agitated super easily. Like the little things just bug you. And that's part of being an exploder too, because your stress level is always there. It's always at a medium to high level. So you don't realize that it's not going to take you much to explode. And I don't want that for you. Another common sign is that you may blame other people for how you feel. If only they would change, if only they would get help, if only they would treat me better, right? And of course, it's natural for some of us to think that, because it's really easy for us to see other people as the problem. But in healthy anger, we have to focus on ourselves. And anger usually starts off as an internal struggle. It's our reaction to life. And that's what we need to learn how to take accountability for. That we're not bad or wrong for having trouble with anger or not knowing how to express it, but we have to be willing to embrace it and not feel like we're bad people, because we're not. Now, another sign if you tend to explode is that, let me look here, your loved ones are walking on eggshells around you. This is super common. Maybe your kids don't feel like they can tell you stuff because they're afraid of how you're going to react. This is a super common issue with people who have anger issues, because our family knows, right, when we're going to blow. Or they're afraid we are going to blow. So they're walking on eggshells because they don't know what to do. And again, I don't want you to hear this as judgment, because it's not. It's more just a sign that tells you, you know what, I probably need some help. Now, if you're an exploder, say yes in the comments. You're in the right place. I really want you to consider attending my workshop today. It's at 5 o'clock. I'm in California time. And it's 7 secrets to creating calm. And we're going to go over this. We're going to go over how to identify your stress reaction and how to start self-soothing. Anyway, let me talk a little bit about the stuffer. How many of you feel like you are stuffing your feelings? Because that is super common too. So if you stuff your feelings, what's happening is you are most likely avoiding setting boundaries. You're saying yes when you mean no. You don't really want to get into an argument, so you just say yes, right? And this is really, really tough because when we don't set boundaries, we're not taking care of ourselves. And it actually creates a lot of resentment. Because when I used to say yes all the time and I really meant no, I immediately felt resentful because I thought I'm giving up my time and my energy and I don't want to. So not setting boundaries is a really common struggle if you tend to be a stuffer. Exploders tend to do this too. Another one is you will do absolutely anything to avoid conflict. This is most likely if you have issues around people pleasing, or maybe you have a touch of codependency like I do, and you just don't want to do anything to risk upsetting someone. But the problem with that is that we're assuming, right? We're assuming that the conflict isn't gonna go well, or that somebody is gonna be mad at us. And oftentimes that's just not true. You just need help in how to say it so that you can be heard without creating an argument. Because how we communicate is a huge piece of how we do anger. And I am gonna go over that in the free workshop too. All right, so some other ones, let me look at my notes, is if you have trouble with anger, you probably are struggling a lot with negative thinking. You might say things like, if only they would change, or life isn't fair, or I'm not good enough, I wish I was as good as so-and-so. All those thoughts create our reality. So it's really, really important for you to look at your negative thinking. And most people don't realize how much negative thinking they actually have until they take my class or my workshop, because we don't pay attention to what we're telling ourselves. It's just a movie that plays in the background over and over again. Now, the other thing I want to say is, why is anger so important? It's important because it tells you when someone's crossed your boundaries. When you feel angry, I guarantee something is not okay with you, whether it's within you or outside in your environment. Maybe somebody has said or done something that hurt your feelings and you don't know how to deal with it. It's really, really important to notice that. That's super important because our anger is our gift. It's not always unhealthy. And I know if you grew up with unhealthy anger like I did, you probably do a lot to avoid it. But what happens when we avoid our anger is it comes out sideways. It comes out in hurtful comments that we don't even mean to say because we're not even thinking that. I know for me, several years ago, I was a really good stuffer. And then all of a sudden, I said something so hurtful to my husband at the time, I was shocked. And it was because I had years of stuffing it. And that's what happens is eventually there comes a day that we can no longer stuff it anymore. And we end up having to say something because we can't hold it anymore. It's just too hard. So part of what I'm going to go through in this free workshop is knowing exactly what to do when that stress reaction starts. Because the key to managing your anger is to catch those feelings early. Because what most people do is they ignore it and go, it's not that bad yet, or I don't have time to do anything for myself, or I should be able to handle this. And really, no, you shouldn't. Your anger is a gift, and it's literally saying, pay attention to me. I'm here. And that's what I want to help you do. So today is my last workshop. I've already given 2, and it's going to be, again, at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time today. It includes a little workbook. We're going to do some writing together and healing, and people have really enjoyed it, and I've gotten a lot of really good feedback on it. So the link is in the description. I want you to check it out, and I would love to see you there. And if you have any questions about anger, feel free to put them in the chat. I don't know. Let me see if I can look at the chat. Let's see. Yes, somebody said yes. Probably to, are you a stuffer, Cora, or an exploder? Let's see. Okay, I don't know if you can comment, but that's cool that I can see your comments. So I hope this has been helpful, and I will hopefully see you later today. There is a replay, but I highly recommend attending live because it's going to be a workshop, and we're gonna get a lot done. All right, I'll see you later.